U.S. Customs and Border Patrol regulates private recreational vessel border crossings. Visit cpb.gov/travel to get started with printable online forms and international boat travel information. To simplify the process, consider downloading the CPB Roam mobile app, available for free from the Apple App Store and Google Play.
The government authority at your port of call will also have requirements for arriving and departing. Carefully research procedures for each destination. Be aware regulations can change with little notice, and allow enough time for document processing backlogs.
Before departure, organize a binder to keep boat and passenger papers in one place for when officials come aboard. Or, you as boat operator, go ashore to visit customs and immigration offices. Include multiple copies of your boat's documentation or registration, proof of boater education, passports and visas for everyone aboard, a list of all persons with names as on passports, applicable permits and licenses such as for radio stations, vessel insurance for hull coverage and liability, medical insurance cards, proof of financial solvency, vaccination certificates for all persons and pets, telephone numbers and email addresses for essential contacts, vessel inventory, receipts for purchases, emergency protocols, and any additional documents uniquely required for entry at your destination.
When you enter the 12-mile limit of a nation's waters, hoist the country's courtesy flag with a Q flag under it to signal that your vessel is healthy and you request free pratique or permission to enter. Time your entry for a weekday during normal customs office business hours.
Proceed immediately to an official port of entry and anchor or tie to a designated transient dock. Contact the appropriate port official by radio to arrange a meeting and answer questions about your boat and its occupants. Don't contact other vessels or persons prior to clearance. Only the operator may disembark if needed to meet authorities with boat documentation, and no one other than a port official should board prior to vessel clearance. All persons aboard should be neatly dressed and respectful to authorities. Document examination will typically include passports, visas, vessel ownership, passenger list, proof of financial solvency, vessel insurance policy, and an inventory of food, liquor, fishing gear, and other equipment. Customs will conduct a vessel inspection to ensure there are no prohibited items aboard, such as narcotics, firearms, ammunition, and certain fresh foods. You should have a sealable, secure locker where restricted items may be stored if permitted to be kept on board. A medical inspection and interview of everyone aboard will be followed by filling out additional forms. Having a pet aboard will add significant complexity and possibly a lengthy quarantine. After you are cleared into the country, a port official will direct you to the appropriate anchorage, mooring, or dock.
Enjoy your stay and set a good example by demonstrating courtesy and respecting local customs. Check whether you can purchase bonded fuel before departure, which will save you paying sales tax.
Talk with port officials about departure procedures beforehand and whether you can be cleared the day before you plan to leave. Pick up duty-free items you purchased and any items being held by officials, such as travel documents, restricted items, or pets in quarantine. No one may leave or visit your vessel after it's been cleared. Save all clearance documents for port officials at the next port to verify where you've been and ensure you're not bringing diseases or illegal items into their country.
As an example of specific requirements, upon entering Canadian waters, promptly go to one of 400 Canadian Border Services Agency marine reporting sites. If you'll only be cruising through Canadian waters without landing, simply report by mobile phone. If you will land in Canada, having a Nexus card and I-68 permit can simplify border crossing in both directions.
Nexus is a joint U.S.-Canadian registration program that, for a per-person fee, clears low-risk recreational boaters from face-to-face inspections when entering either country for 5 years. With Nexus, you can place the mandatory phone call to be cleared up to 4 hours in advance.
I-68 is a form with photos and fingerprints of each person aboard, age 14 and older, that allows entry from Canada by boat for a boating season simply by reporting to CBP by phone. Purchase the form after having a boat inspection and interviews with each applicant at a designated CBP office along the U.S.-Canadian border.
For other destinations, research specific requirements well in advance. Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and the Bahamas have minor variations. Mexico and Cuba have major ones. If you merely travel from a U.S. port into international waters but don't enter a foreign port, your vessel is considered not to have departed the United States. Otherwise, before returning to the United States from a foreign port of call, submit a notice of arrival with the U.S. Coast Guard's National Vessel Movement Center.
Upon entering U.S. waters, notify CBP immediately by VHF marine radio or mobile phone for direction to the nearest CBP port of entry to have an in-person inspection unless you qualify for clearance under an approved advance registration program. The CBP officer may require you to produce documents for proper inspection of your vessel, cargo, and all persons on board. If referred for a formal entry, you must complete CBP Form 1300 within 48 hours and report any foreign merchandise on your boat that is subject to duty.
The U.S. Department of State encourages Americans traveling abroad to register in its Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, or STEP, a free service for enrolling your trip with the nearest U.S. Embassy or consulate. Once enrolled, you'll receive information about safety conditions in your destination country and enable the State Department to contact you in an emergency.
The Travel Health section of the U.S. Centers for Disease Control website provides updates on health issues in various destinations. Remember to consult with your health insurance company beforehand to ensure you're covered outside the U.S.
Finally, visit the privately maintained Noon site for a wealth of additional timely information regarding international boat travel, and consider taking the United States Power Squadron's Crossing Borders seminar.
In the post-9/11 coronavirus security environment, with digital technologies continuously changing legacy paper communications and documentation systems, requirements for border crossing can change quickly at each location. Timely planning and preparation are key to smooth travels that involve border crossings.